Hello, everybody, and welcome to Athletic Definition. My name is Coach Ray Z, and this is episode 106. Today, we're going to be talking about the world's 10 highest paid athletes. The Forbes just released a day ago the 10 highest paid, and there's actually a couple on here that I'm surprised are not on here, and I'll mention them at the end. And also be sure to stick around. I'm going to actually get into the percentages of how difficult it is to become a pro athlete. I think as a little kid, most people dream about becoming an athlete. You play, it's a great way to make a lot of money. Sorry about that. I got a little distracted here. So it's probably like the best way to make money. A lot of, kids dream about making it to the NBA, making it to the NFL. You start imagining the clock is running down or it's the eighth inning and you need to hit a home run in order to win the big game. So for some of these people to be getting paid the amounts of money that they're getting paid, it's really impressive. So let's start off with a number 10. Number 10 is Giannis. Giannis is making $80.9 million. And out of pretty much everyone that I read on here, it from what I read, and I didn't have a chance to read it all that well, like in high detail, but from what I read, it seems to they're combining their income from more than one source. I don't believe that this is their entirely what they're making from the team. I believe it's a combination because most stuff from what I was reading, a lot of them had to offset what they lost or would lose in their last year of their contract with NFTs. So NFTs is the big thing now. If you don't know, you can always go back and check out one of my past episodes. I did NFT for athletes. All right. And just want to mention and say thank you to everybody listening. This is Athletic Definition, Coach Ray Z. And we're moving on to number 9. Number 9, and from seeing this next guy as the number 9, it gave me an idea to make a new list of, I would say, maybe the oldest, highest paid players that are still active and competing with other people's contracts. Because definitely, I would say he probably tops the list as far as age. I believe Tom Brady making an $83.9 million, and that's really impressive. I'm going to kind of go down the list of everybody, and then I'm going to kind of pull up the Forbes article. If you are in the audience and you want to check out the article, you can click on the fortune cookie. I went ahead and placed it in the fortune cookie in the show notes. If you want to check it out, I will put it in the show notes to the podcast. I am a little behind on some of the show notes. I still have to go and put them. But the next guy actually just fought last weekend. He lost, but he is still coming in at number 8 for the highest paid athlete. Number 8, Canelo Alvarez with $90 million. Man, it's insane how a lot of these guys are getting paid almost $100 million to play a sport that a lot of people just love and enjoy doing. As I mentioned, I think a lot of young people's dreams and aspirations are to make it pro. And then when you make it pro, to get paid that type of money, it's insane. And I could just imagine that type of feeling of seeing that type of funds going into your account. I worked at the bank, and I got to see a couple professional athletes' accounts. And when you see direct deposits of hundreds of thousands coming in, just me seeing it was like, wow, that was like the first time. So I could just imagine the feeling of, a lot of people that are professional athletes come from, tough situations. So they're not even fully, if you've seen that documentary Broke by ESPN, a lot of them don't know what a checkbook is, how to balance an account, anything with numbers like that. So it's really easy to, yes, you have 100,000, but then that could be gone so quickly. Everybody all of a sudden is your aunt and your uncle and your long lost girlfriend and things of that nature. Moving on to number 7. Number 7, I really don't know anything about because I don't really watch too much tennis or any tennis really. Roger Federer, he made $90.7 million. So he just edged out Canelo Alvarez by point 0.7, and he didn't have to take as many hits to the head. So, but he's the only tennis player to crack the top 10. So tennis, there's definitely money, but I didn't have a chance to see the percentage of people that actually go pro. Also in boxing, I kind of looked it up, so I'll give you an idea. But I could tell you, Canelo is the moneymaker right now. Well, maybe besides Mayweather, but active boxers, he's the main guy. Majority of fighters don't make that type of money. I know it sounds so impressive and everybody's like, wow, but majority of fighters don't make that type of money. It's a tough business. Moving on to number 6 is Kevin Durant with 92.1 million. Durantula doing good, got like a year off from his injury, and it happened to be that year was the pandemic year. And so he really didn't miss much, and probably helped him because everybody else had to eventually play in the bubble, and he got a nice paycheck out of it. So Kevin Durant, is he worth that? We'll see if he could win a title or not. Moving on to number 5, and actually this is where I started reading about the NFTs. So we all know Curry likes to buy NFTs. So Curry's number 5. He earned 92.8 million, and this is paid for 2022. So out of basketball, we have a total of 4. One NFL player only, and considering everyone's making the news with big contracts, but only one NFL player. After that, we only have 1 tennis player, 4 NBA players, and here we go. And we have 3 of these, and they're in the top 4. So it's soccer. Neymar made 95 million. Number 3, Cristiano Ronaldo with 115 million. And number 2, LeBron James with 121.2 million. And Leon Messi with 130 million. Now, that's where I started reading, and I'm going to go to the article regarding the NFTs. It's something about, with Conor McGregor and with Conor McGregor and Money Mayweather making so much money, somehow it threw off the numbers, and they would have had losses. So those are actually the 2 people that I was talking about that I'm surprised they didn't make the list. Money Mayweather and Conor McGregor. Conor he sold a whiskey. He made a whiskey. And of course, with that fight that he did with Mayweather, he got more well-known. So then you have a bigger audience to sell your whiskey too. That whiskey, I believe he sold it for 180 million from what I was reading. And what he took home clean was about 150 million. And I think that was the previous year. So after that, he really hasn't done much activity. He's fought a couple times, but I don't think he's really getting paid that same. UFC is not paying him $100 million like he got paid versus Mayweather, or he was supposed to get 30 million and Mayweather was supposed to get 100 million from what I was reading. So yeah, right here it says that, okay, so Messi is, let's see here, 20 million. So yeah, he ended up doing a NFT, or he was going to lose money. So he ended up with NFT. And then right here, LeBron James is 37. Let's see if it tells me how old Messi is. It doesn't say how old Messi is. Oh yeah, he's 34. So the number 1 guy is 34. That's really good for. And then number 2, LeBron James, and he is set to be pushing his net worth to 850 million according to Forbes. Later on this month, Forbes is going to be releasing the top 50 richest athletes, which I'm definitely interested to take a look to see where Conor Mayweather, especially with Mayweather always flaunting how much money he makes, and then a lot of athletes too kind of did investments where they took crypto in the cryptocurrency instead of actual money. I know Tom Brady is invested, and I know that let's see, I don't know if it worked out for him or not, especially with what's going on with the whole cryptocurrency in the last few days. But it was the Rams receiver. What is his name? Beckham. think that was the name, Beckham. So I'd like to see what's going on with that. Curry's another guy who as well did is doing stuff with NFTs, featured in sneakers, and is tied to the metaverse platform. So a lot of these guys are making the money, and I'd like to see a list of just pure contracts. Who makes the most just off pure contracts without endorsements? And I'm going to go back and reread this, but you decide if you think these players, athletes are worth that money. When it comes to boxing or MMA, I was disappointed that I didn't see any MMA UFC fighters on there. So I kind of just wanted to give you guys some additional information. As I mentioned, this is probably a dream for most kids, and I'm not saying don't go for it or for parents not to encourage them, but at the same time, be realistic. Some kids have the talent, but don't have the hunger. Some kids have the hunger, but not the talent, the genetic gifts. And every once in a while, you get a kid who has both and they become superstars because it's not easy. I was watching a clip yesterday from Allen Iverson, and he was talking about Kobe Bryant and how Kobe was the type of guy who would be working out while they're all at the club. And he's like, did you hear that? Kobe would be working out while we would all be at the club. And he's like, and that's what gave him the edge over a lot of guys, including me. So, if you have dreams and aspirations, the road is difficult. The odds are against you, but it's definitely possible. In the NFL, the league minimum, it depends because they have the collective bargaining agreement. But if you kicked off your rookie season in 2021, you're going to make a minimum of $660,000 in 2020. The number was $610,000, and it's supposed to rise to about 700,000 in March 2nd of 2022. So it just moved to about 7K, almost 100,000 league minimum as far as in the NFL. When the NFL draft takes place, it represents dreams of a bunch of college players, 224 college players who get picked in the draft. And for most players, however, going pro, it's not going to happen. It's fewer than 2% of college student athletes ever play professional sports at any level for any amount of time. In the NBA, the minimum salary for NBA starts at $925,000, which is, to me, that's great for league minimum. That varies between players depending on the year of the contract was signed and various other factors, of course. And there are 3 tiers when it comes to being a professional fighter in UFC. The lowest tier earns, if you say you want to be an MMA fighter and don't mind getting punched and kicked in the face, then it's $10,000 to $30,000. Doesn't say a month per fight or anything like that. The highest tier ranking between $500,000 to $3 million per fight. Okay, so it is per fight. So $10K per fight. That's not bad, depending on how many times you fight per year. Newer fighters usually get the lowest tier contract when they first sign to UFC. Then as you prove yourself, of course, negotiation like in everything else. In baseball, in 2021, the league minimum was $570,500. And actually, is that right? Yeah, so it's proposed that by 2022, it'll be minimum will be $630,000. And then they're seeking about $775K with different proposals. In baseball, they're always, doing different deals, especially also because of the shortened season. Players want to get paid and owners don't want to get shorted. So they're still always going to be fighting regarding that. In the NBA, only 60 players make it. Out of those 60 players, 5 start on each team. And then you have some guys coming off the bench. Usually maybe 2 are really critical. The 6th man is usually critical, and maybe the 7th. It just depends. Playoffs, it's different. You need your bench to contribute. But just to kind of give you an idea of the percentage, the drop off from college to pros is even more dramatic with only, and this is in the NFL, with 1.2 college level players will ever get drafted into the NFL and become a professional athlete or even tackle anybody. let's see here. So, I'm sorry. The stats I gave you, that was for the NFL. In baseball, it says that they draft about 1,200 draftees, and more than 900 players agree to terms. So you get a lot more players in baseball. Uh, but even then, I know it's still competitive. I'll have to break that down more. And then approximately 20,000 active professional boxers and over 1,000 professional MMA athletes in the world, according to the figures from Boxing Records, UFC, Bellator, and the World Series of Fighting as of June 9th, 2017. So if you want to look into any of this, you could just Google it, minimum salary, how many people make it, and then the show notes, I'll throw them in the podcast. I still have to go through some other show notes and kind of just include what I've been talking about, as my own editor, director, producer, sound guy, video guy, everything, getting a guest. I'm the guy. So sometimes I get a little backed up. And then I have my personal life as well. Right now, it's a beautiful, hot, sunny Friday in Southern California. So I definitely appreciate the time that you're taking out of your day, especially on a Friday, to hang out with me, Coach Ray Z, on Athletic Definition, episode 106. I was supposed to have a guest, a second show today. Things happen. We'll reschedule. Looking forward to hopefully having him on next week. I will be working a lot more harder on my guest. Just always a lot going on, like all of you. Definitely appreciate all the support, all the 50 states, all the 64 countries, all the listeners in Germany, the UK, Spain, Italy. Those are the ones that are ranking higher than everybody else, but I appreciate everybody. And if you're looking for any sort of a personal training, be sure to hit me up on any of my social media, which is Coach Ray Z, and that's across all platforms from Twitter to TikTok, or you can also find me at Athletic Definition. Be sure to follow if you like the content that I'm doing on all platforms. I'm getting closer and closer to the 4,000 hours on YouTube. Still need more subscribers. Keep watching, keep supporting. If you know someone that likes it, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. Until next week, or maybe sooner, we'll be doing this Monday should be Drunks episode with my friend Ty, which I should be seeing him, but we'll leave it up to him if he wants to talk about that this Monday. So be sure to tune in. Be sure to follow me here on Fireside, and you will get alerted when and the name of the beer that we're going to be doing the review. I know this one was kind of an improv show. It didn't really give a chance for anybody to hop in, but on Fridays, been doing a lot of things. Busy day, started early in the morning, and since my guest couldn't make it, I figured let me knock this out of the way early so I can do more stuff. It's still hot enough. I got to get a run in. And everybody, thank you once again for joining. Appreciate your support. I will see you next time. Coach Ray Z, I'm out.